right, Allison, thanks so much. Looking forward to the sunshine returning. All right, meanwhile, our back-to-school coverage, of course, continues. Many school districts getting ready to welcome students back this week, including Forest Hills. The students there are going to head back to the classroom, well, in 3 days, this Thursday. And so we're joined this afternoon with Forest Hills School District Superintendent, Mr. Larry Hook. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure to be here.
Yeah, well, this is an exciting week for you guys, and this will be your second year as the district superintendent.
Yes.
Tell us some of the highlights from years past.
Oh, well, for 1 year past.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think some of the biggest things is obviously academically, we still perform at such a high level, which is really the most important thing that we talk about with our kids and providing that kind of atmosphere where our kids can thrive. Certainly, we had a pretty large levy combination issue on the ballot this past May. And I'm just so thankful that our community rallied in such strong numbers and passed that much needed finances and not just for operating dollars, but for a permanent improvement fund, which when you have 9 buildings and 7 of them are 50 years of age and more, now that's not old. I'm not saying that. But when you, but when you're talking about a building, things start happening, you know, and the repairs can be very costly. And so that piece of this issue was critical for us as well, and it allows us the opportunity to really address some serious physical needs within the buildings.
You sort of answered my question here in part. I was going to ask about that operating levy. I'm sure that it was stressful for you and your team last year as you were wondering and worrying that maybe it wouldn't pass because so many districts have dealt with that. What does this mean for you all? Are you not going to have to make cuts, not just to the buildings, but for staff? What does that mean for this school year?
Well, I think that it's important that we're always being fiscally watchful of our dollars. So we've tried to reduce some areas that we thought maybe we could tighten the belt, so to speak. But what this really allows us to do is to maintain really nice class sizes for our kids. We know with research shows when you start getting up in numbers that it's going to impact the quality of education. We have great teachers at Forest Hills. But when you put in the mix and if those classes become too big, then it's just the natural ability to teach one-on-one instruction and different methodologies gets impacted.
And it's an exhausting job anyway, but then when you're doubling class sizes or, 1.5 times what you normally have, it's hard to touch each student the way you normally would.
Yeah, well, and speaking of teachers, the great teachers that you have there, what have they been working on, teachers and administrators, for this summer?
Well, that's a busy time for administrators, just getting ready for Thursday. Thursday's we're at the starting line, so to speak, for our kids. So this summer has really been in preparation, making sure that we have all of our academic stuff in line, some of the new literacy laws, making sure the science of reading is being fully implemented. We've already been doing that, and that's one of the reasons I think our scores are so strong. But I'm also of the belief that you never remain stagnant. You're either going to get better or not, and so we prefer to get better every year. And so we look to keep raising the bar for our kids, for our staff, for all of us. And so we've spent a lot of time just preparing for 7,200 kids that are going to show up this week.
Well, I know today was the first day for all of your staff to be there. So welcome back, everybody. And thank you again. This is Larry Hook, of course, with Forest Hills. Thank you for taking the time on such a busy week and especially such a busy day to meet with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on.
We appreciate it.
We wish you guys the best this school year, of course.
Thank you.
All right. So remember, you can scan the QR code on your screen to get to our back to school guide. We have a list of school start dates along with links to school supply shopping and also student immunization requirements.